Abdullahi Garba Birnunkudu reports.
It is the concern of the organizers, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and the International Interfaith Peace Corps, that in Nigeria alone, more than 14 million people were displaced by terrorist activities. Representatives of 8 African countries and beyond to discuss the matter, which Sultan Saad Abubakar said must start with inculcation of religious teachings and the people searching for education.
I would like us to discuss the various challenges we are facing. Why are we having problems between Shia and Sunni Muslims? Why? Islam is a way of life. We must discuss on all issues that come up from our religious beliefs, because we use religion as a tool to move forward.
The UNDP said the problem is beyond military engagement.
As one of the epicenter countries, Nigeria, through UNDP support, has embarked on a program on de-radicalization, countering violent extremism, and migration in northern Nigeria.
Some of the participants added religious perspectives to the issue.
Allah has said it clearly. If it is from Him, as-salam, we must realize. He said in the Quran, La ikraha fi din. No compulsion in religion. Religion can only spread by wisdom, good preaching, and very gentle persuasion, inshallah.
Many believe what is required is to carry the message down the ladder, especially to the youth involved in these radical issues and extremism. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Birnunkudu, NTA News.
Senate President Bukola Saraki has called for strengthening parliamentary relations among African countries in fighting corruption. The Senate President stated this when he received a delegation of the Ugandan Parliament and Public Accounts. Waziri Zayanu has details.
The Senate President said to fight corruption effectively, laws that bite should be enacted and made more vibrant by legislative arm of government. He said causes of corruption should be tackled instead of concentrating on prosecution.
I think we need to do that by ensuring that we look at some of the laws that we pass, and those are people-orientated and have value, and also look at our oversight.
Leader of the delegation, Okumu Reagan, said they are in Nigeria to rub minds on how 2 chambers of the National Assembly are operating legislation on public account. Meanwhile, stakeholders in aviation have again called for independence of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. This is with a view to giving it required latitude to operate a regular civil aviation in Nigeria. The call was part of deliberations made with Senate Committee on Aviation aimed at repositioning the industry for better productivity.
The Senate is aware of some of the challenges, especially accessibility to foreign exchange to purchase spare parts or replace aging aircraft. If you have to invest in the airline industry, you must have long-term finance at lower interest rates.
The market is here, but we are not tapping the market because of what you call policy formulation, policy deviation, and policy contradiction.
Unfortunately, all the foreign airlines have lost millions of dollars after the devaluation.
The meeting also wants the federal government to support and protect private sector-led sustainable operations of airlines with a view to enabling them compete favorably with foreign counterparts. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayan, NTA News.
The manipulation of fault lines such as ethnic, religious, political party affiliation by suspects to fight government has been identified as the major impediment to the success in fighting corruption in Nigeria. This was stated at an interactive session between the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption with reporters. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
So things are changed. This battle is being fought in the court of public.
Corruption, the group says, is the greatest enemy of the country's development, which must be tackled headlong. It is in a bid to get rid of this enemy that the body was constituted. Reviewing its activities in the past year, the committee spotted delayed tactics by alleged corrupt Nigerians as a major challenge.
The people from your village can sow Ashwebi and follow you to court, rather than say you have embarrassed us. We're not looking at the substance to say this person is innocent or guilty. We are just diverting attention.
We cannot win this war on the basis of law alone. It has to be on re-education and, of course, re-internalization of values of civility.
On the recent arrest of some suspected corrupt judges, chairman of the committee, Professor Isse Sage, says it's a welcome development that does not deserve public apathy.
A judge should never be guilty of corruption. Once a judge does that, he brings himself to our level and so cannot complain if he's treated the same way you and I are treated. But we need an upright judiciary. Without that, one arm of government would collapse. Democracy would collapse.
With the mandate to strictly advise, coordinate and monitor, the group says its interventions have led to some asset recovery for national development, urging Nigerians to see the fight against corruption as an act of patriotism. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
And more on the fight against corruption. The Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Mr. Ekbunta, has urged Nigerians to see corruption as not only a crime against the state, but also against citizens, and therefore must be fought by all. He was speaking at an anti-corruption leadership workshop organized for senior executives of ministries, departments and agencies in Abuja. Edina Justice has details.
It was organized by the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria, a training and research arm of ICPC to build crop of leaders that will drive the anti-corruption agenda in both the public and private sectors. Kicking off the program, Mr. Ekpo urged participants to have a change of mind as the issues were drawn from practical experience in fighting corruption. He then speaks on why ICPC focuses more on preventive processes.
The BVN, which you are all familiar with, is a product of prevention. The education sector is a beneficiary of the preventive processes we've been having. We do not wish to wait until infractions are committed before we begin to arrest.
Too often we try to see the war against corruption as something left to the government and something left to the anti-corruption agencies. But it is something that is meant for all of us.
Dr. Oluwafemi Ladapo's paper was on understanding corruption and anti-corruption, the general overview, drawing attention to different levels of corruption and corruption maze. It is said here in this lecture that corruption in Nigeria has denied and destroyed many things, including good education, security, infrastructure, and good life. From ICPC headquarters, Abuja, Edina Justice, NTA News.
Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, says the Buhari administration is doing a lot to reverse Nigeria's ranking as the 7th in global illicit financial flow. Timothy Yusuf reports that the minister was on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program to review the just concluded International Monetary Fund and World Bank annual meetings in Washington.
Nigeria is among the 189 member nations of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank Group. They have the primary mandate to support member nations with funds, fiscal, monetary and structural policies, as well as technical assistance that could position their economies on the path of growth and prosperity. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, says Nigeria has been able to get adequate view of global economy and work out how the Nigerian economy can benefit from it.
What we need to do is, and which is what we're doing as a nation, we're taking our pain ourselves. So the only thing to make sure is that we do get out of the situation that we're in. Now, when you don't borrow from the IMF, you can still engage with them for technical support, and we are doing that, but we're not borrowing from the IMF. Now, the World Bank is different. The World Bank, what we've applied for is budget support. It doesn't come with that conditionality.
Flexibility of the exchange rate has to be anchored within the framework of the general macroeconomic reforms against other economic reforms.
But getting there, we see that Nigeria became the beautiful bride. People were ready to support us. In what areas would you need assistance? And that's exactly what they were talking about.
Other guests called for the need to turn the nation's present economic situation into an opportunity towards economic growth.
We have more than enough to get out of this recession in a very, very short while.
There are no cause for alarm if we go outside our environment to source more funding in order to invest into some other sectors that need international support.
The guests believe that the current economic state of the nation is a global issue, but that Nigeria will come out of it better. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The right application of the deposit insurance law and practice in Nigeria will go a long way in ensuring speedy adjudication in all cases involving deposits in the banking sector. The President, Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Adamu Balkachua, stated this at the opening of the 2016 annual seminar for judicial officers in the Court of Appeal in Abuja. Dele Atumbi reports.
Justice Zainab Adamu Balkachua said the interests of depositors and financial system stability can be protected and achieved with the active participation of the judiciary. Justice Balkachua also noted that the building of the capacity of judicial officers on issues relating to deposit, insurance law, and practice in Nigeria will assist in quick dispensation of justice on all matters relating to the sector, thereby building the confidence of depositors in the financial system. The President of the Court of Appeal said the annual seminar has afforded judicial officers an opportunity for a deep insight into the practice of deposit insurance in the nation's financial sector.
The challenges encountered by the corporation in performing its role, and this has invariably positioned their lordships in dealing with appeals bordering on financial disputes.
The Managing Director of Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, Umar Ibrahim, identified lack of awareness of its mandate as one of the hindrances facing the organization in the discharge of its duties. He promised that the corporation would continue to protect the interest of all depositors in the banking sector to scale up the economy. The seminar took an overview of the challenges to deposit insurance law and practice in Nigeria. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
All is now set for the 2016 edition of Africast, scheduled to begin tomorrow, Tuesday, in Abuja. Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, visited the NTA stand to monitor preparations for a comprehensive coverage and a strong presence. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday has more.
So rather than using all the different analog boxes,
the visit afforded the Director General of the NTA as one of the exhibitors to know more from an international exhibitor on what is obtainable in other developed countries. Accompanied by other management staff of the organization, they also inspected the NTA stand, already stocked with modern broadcast equipment.
We are very proud of the equipment we have, and we are here to join others in not only showcasing, what we have in terms of television equipment, but also in discovering new equipment. Because this Africast is all about equipment manufacturers and content providers. Very happy that our minister is very passionate about NTA. Mr. President is also passionate about NTA.
Alista Shoyede, a broadcast executive from the United Kingdom, is one of the exhibitors.
These are really powerful cameras that are used for super motion production. And that would really indicate that NTA is absolutely ready. They have the potential to reach out not just nationally but internationally. They have the capacity and they have the human resources.
The management team also inspected the high-definition outside broadcast van, where the Deputy Director Technical Services of the NTA, Zakios Ali, explained to them operations of the van.
NTA is moving. NTA is going up. And I believe that putting all these facilities into good use, we're there.
After going round some of the exhibition stands, the Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, says he is optimistic that latest equipment will be acquired based on the political will of the present administration to improve the lives of her citizens. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
And you can watch this broadcast live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still to come, keeping an ancient culture alive. The details when we return.
When has it reached this? Much less this. And this. And this. And this. Help reclaim our Commonwealth. Lend your support to the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria.
Once in a generation, a technology emerges that transforms a nation. Close new 4G network is exactly that. It is by far the fastest mobile internet in Nigeria and the first with nationwide coverage. Government institutions and big business will have the tools they need to build the powerhouse of Africa. Small business will be enabled to make the big leap. Medical procedures will be more advanced and your home will become truly smart. With our most extensive national optic fiber network linked seamlessly to Glo One submarine cable, it is data speed and capacity beyond imagination. 4G will accelerate Nigeria's progress into the Super League, and everyone will see their lives change beyond recognition. The wait is over. Welcome to 4G LTE from Glo. Welcome to the new speed of life.
Eat fish at least twice a week, including a portion of oily fish. Fish like mackerel, sardine, fresh tuna, salmon, and catfish are a source of omega-3 fats, which can help protect the heart against diseases. But remember, pregnant women or breastfeeding mothers shouldn't take more than 2 portions of oily fish a week.
We all have that one friend that can sure like to borrow.
Babes, please borrow me that your bag.
Borrow salt. Borrow car. Even borrow torchlight in the middle of the night. But the one that pains me the most, borrow data. So I decided to stop all that. I introduced my own Borrow friend to the all-new MTN data bundles.
Dial *131# to find the MTN data bundle plan that's just right for you. And if you're out of airtime to buy data, simply borrow data and pay later with MTN Extra Bytes.
As for the other stuff, well, we are still working on it.
MC, I have a wedding tomorrow. Please, can I borrow your boo?
MTN, everywhere you go.
The National Assembly Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Anti-Corruption and the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, in collaboration with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the European Union and the African Development Studies Center are organizing a national conference on the role of the legislature in the fight against corruption. Date Tuesday 18th and Wednesday 19th October 2016. Venue Nigerian Air Force Conference Center, Ahmadu Bello Way, Kado, Abuja. Time 9 a.m. daily. The opening ceremony will be performed by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari with a special guest of honor. Keynote speaker Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, Director General, Kenyan Law School. Hosts His Excellency Senator Abubakar Bukola Saraki, President of the Senate. His Excellency Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Speaker of the House of Representatives. Announcers Senator Chukwuka Utazi, Chairman, Senate Committee on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes. Honorable Akilio Haziz Babajide, Chairman, House Committee on Anti-Corruption.
With Free Basics, one opportunity leads to many. Dial *141# to get Jobberman, Airtel One Touch, and many more without data charges. Only on Airtel.
The 2016 Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment meeting of the National Council of Industry, Trade and Investment will take place from Monday 24th to Thursday 27th of October 2016 at the June 12 Cultural Center, Kuto, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Theme: Diversification of Nigerian economy from overdependence on oil export. Keynote address: His Excellency, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, SAN, GCON, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Who should attend? All state commissioners and PAMSECs of industry, trade,
investment, commerce and tourism, CEOs of parastatals and agencies under the ministry, as well as development partners and organized private sector such as MAN, NASIMA, FACAN and others.
Participants are to arrive on Sunday 23rd.
For further information, please contact Deputy Director, Planning, email umarubuhari@yahoo.co.uk or call 0809 543 4179.
2016 National Council on Industry, Trade and Investment, Monday 24th to Thursday 27th October 2016.
For an easy way to check your bank account and make payments wherever you are in the world, use EcoBank Internet Banking or sign up online today at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Thanks for staying with us on NTA Network News. And now, counting down to the reign of a new Oba, time to join Ameze in Benin on the history and royal lineage of the Benin Kingdom. I see the mood is catching on, and if I didn't know any better, I would say now that is one of the princesses in the Oba's palace.
You can say that again. To me, the coronation of the Oba, which hopefully will take place on the 20th of October 2016, is acquiring a knowledge of the deep history of the Benin Kingdom. And I'm looking forward to it, just as many other princes and princesses of the kingdom. Welcome to the Benin Network Center. My name is Ameze Igiebo Anyaru. Ahead of the coronation of the Crown Prince Eheneden Ediawa as the Oba of Benin on the 20th of October, Steve Lona Iwokolo takes a look at the history of the Benin Kingdom.
Ancient Benin Empire was a pre-colonial empire located in what is now southern Nigeria. Its capital, Edo, now known as Benin City, was the headquarters of the 11th century empire, which historians have described as one of the oldest and the most highly developed states in the coastal hinterland of West Africa. Oral traditions say the first name of Benin Empire was Igodomigodo, as called by the people with their ruler, then known as Ogiso.
Benin City is as old as the institution of the monarchy itself, which is over 1,000 years. From that period, the city had survived the Ogiso dynasty and continued to the medieval period, the post-medieval, as well as the modern era.
It was a period of interregnum in Benin when we tried to go and look for the Oba to come back. They have to go back to Ife to go and bring him. Because when he left Benin, they knew where he was. But the Europeans never knew where he came from. So they thought that he fell from the sky with so many deities. But we, the Benin, we knew that he's from here.
The Benin monarchy since then demonstrated strong moral values, authority, grandeur, and a great deal of relevance for the subjects. Benin, Steve Lona Iwokolo, NTA News.
Benin Kingdom has witnessed the reign of 38 Obas from the Ogisos, Eweka I to Ediawa II. In this report, correspondent Elizabeth Ewotoma examines the royal lineage of the Benin Kingdom and major achievements in the dynasty.
All rulers took turns to rule the empire before the emergence of Eweka I in 1180. From 1180 to 1440, 11 Obas ruled. The coming of Ewa dynasty in 1440 saw a line of 24 traditional Obas in the chain. It ended with Ovorame Nogbaisi in 1914 after his exile to Calabar by the British in 1897. This gave way to the post-imperial Obas of Benin, where it had Eweka II as 36th Oba, Akenzua II 37th Oba, Erediwa as the 38th Oba, and now the Crown Prince Ehenede Erediwa as 39.
The second era, if I may put it, is a continuum of the first era, because the lineage, the blood of the last Ogiso Wodo, which flew through his son Ikaladeran, came back again and recycled and continuing the lineage of Obaiweka the one that came 1100 AD.
A lot of them tried, or the whole Oba tried, but some did wonderfully well to stabilize the peace and the organogram of what we are seeing today. The best of them all was Ewari Ogidiga. Oba Erediawa was a father to all. He ensured that during his reign there was peace in Benin City.
As the Crown Prince Ehenade Erediwa ascends the throne, the people are hopeful that his reign will advance the cause of the Benin tradition. In Benin, Elizabeth Owotwoma, NTN News.
Cyril will put a hold on it tonight here, but I tell you there will be more from the rich cultural archives of the Benin Kingdom. Do take it away now.
Thank you. Amazing. Blowing us away with that attire. Look forward to more indeed. Moving on now. The role engineers play in resuscitating the nation's economy was at the recently concluded special session for conferment of fellowship on deserving members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers and advancing the visibility of the society for the attention of policymakers. Science correspondent Kiran Umayo reports.
In a lecture titled Engineering Education Reform and Competitiveness of the Nigerian Economy, former Vice Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Professor Chinedu Nebo, called for restructuring of engineering curriculum in Nigeria's institutions of higher learning to fall in line with today's engineering and technological advancement. This, he said, will lead to a quantum leap in the nation's technological progress.
Wellness of any nation depends on the level of importance that country attaches to science, engineering, technology, and even mathematics as a prop to sustainable infrastructural development, and by extension provides the country a window through which its economic competitiveness can be measured.
President, Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Otis Anyeji, and Chairman, Board of Fellows, Engineer Chris Okoye, advocated reenactment of the engineering culture of the 1960s, when Nigerians thrived in both locomotive and works engineering.
Our basic job is to solve problems. And the engineering method is based on the application of the sciences to solutions of the problems of humanity.
Creative thinking and teaching has been the engine and springboard of sustained economic advancement and international competitiveness.
20 engineers were conferred with Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Kiran Umayo, NTA News.
And time for us to join Abdullahi Mohammed in our Lagos Network Center for more reports. Abdullahi.
Good evening, Cyril, and thanks for joining us in Lagos. The trial of former Director General of the NIMASA, Patrick Akpobolekemi, and 9 others resumed today. The FCC investigation prosecuting officer narrated how the accused persons allegedly diverted more than 400 million naira using fictitious companies and bank accounts. The prosecution officer stated this before Justice Saliu Saidu of the Federal High Court, Ikoyi, Lagos.
At the resumed hearing, the prosecution officer Kanu Idagu told the court that the first accused person, former DG NIMASA, between December 2013 and 7th July 2015, ran NIMASA as if it was a personal company. He narrated that the former NIMASA DG set up a committee for intelligence and security. The former DG, he continued, instructed the chairman of the committee, who is the second accused person, to disburse the sum of 153 million naira to several companies which were registered as security organizations. The prosecution officer further added that one of Boigbe, an estates agent, was given 30 million naira, while the second accused person also instructed one Uche to transfer 10 million naira to Kofar Father Company and the dollar equivalent be given to the second accused person. Mr. Kanu stated that all these transactions were carried out with fictitious company names. Justice Saliu Saidu then adjourned the case to the 15th and 19th December this year for further hearing. Also, the case between the former DG Nimasa and JTF commander was adjourned to the 19th of October this year.
The Nigerian Customs Service, Apapa Area Command, has intercepted and seized 4 containers following false declaration of contents by the importers. The controller of the command, Willie Godwin, made this known to newsmen at a media briefing and inspection exercise. Demola Adoye reports.
The 2x40 containers and 2x12 containers were fully loaded with cigarettes but were falsely declared as millet. The Customs Area Controller said the consignee presented a fake name and description of content on his form. He also hinted that the cigarette had no date of manufacture and expiry date. When officials of NAFDAC and Standard Organization of Nigeria were contacted, they claimed they had no knowledge of such goods coming into the country. A red alert was placed on the containers and physical examinations were carried out.
The duty payable which Custom would have lost if this consignment had found its way out would have been 196,030,800.
The agent has been arrested for transmitting a falsified document to the customs. The controller appealed to importers and their agents to embrace the change agenda of the present administration by making honest declaration of goods imported into the country.
If you are making any declaration, declare what you know you have imported.
Samples of the cigarettes have been taken by NAFDAC and SON for further investigation, while the suspect will be handed over to the police for prosecution. In Lagos, Ademola Adeoye, NTA News.
NTA Network News will continue after these messages. Don't go away.
It's the Glow CAF Awards Silver Jubilee Edition, where the stars of football and entertainment come together to celebrate the Oscars of football. And we'd like you to join us. That's right. Glow is giving away 300 VIP invites to Africa's most prestigious football awards. To stand a chance to be selected, simply use 25,000 Naira on your Glow SIM between October 10th and 31st December 2016. It's that easy. There's only one place to be, January 5th, 2017, the Glow CAF Awards. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
As part of the efforts of the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) to promote voluntary compliance and spare taxpayers the burden of carrying forward old tax liabilities arising from penalty and interest, the service wishes to invite all principal officers, especially chairmen, managing directors, chief executive officers, and non-executive directors, chief financial officers, and all company owners or their representatives to take advantage of a special window to avoid payment of penalty and interest on tax due between 2013 and 2015. The service will grant a pardon dating back to 3 years, 2013 to 2015, to all taxpayers if such taxpayers declare their indebtedness within the 45-day special window and present a payment plan on the outstanding principal tax liability acceptable to the FIRS. This window opens on 5th October and closes on 24th November 2016 and relates only to accumulated penalty and interest, not principal tax due. Based on this waiver, part or full payment of undisputed tax liabilities should be made, while the balance can be paid in installments not lower than 25% on account. Failure to take advantage of this special window will result in the FIRS deploying all legal means, including criminal prosecution of board and management of defaulting organizations. Applicants wishing to take advantage of the special window are enjoined to forward their applications to Office of the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, 20 Sokode Street, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja.
One opportunity leads to many. Dial *141# to get Jobberman, Airtel One Touch, and many more without data charges. Only on Airtel.
Last drop bottle of Sprite. And there it is. And there. That sudden burst of intense refreshment that just keeps coming. Good job, Sprite.
In life, there are many distractions, but the future is always created by those who can focus on the goal. Techno Phantom 6 with dual back camera and adjustable focusing technology. Never say it, show it.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Hi guys, look how my baby Jamil has grown. Time flies and I'm sure it's the same for all you moms out there. And as they grow, there's a worry we all share, skin rash. Some use lotions or petroleum jelly, but I found what works for Jamil is Nigerian Pampers. It has built-in lotion to help protect his delicate skin and keep him dry. See you in the morning, Jam Jam. Good morning, happy Jam Jam. Good morning. Dry and soft and no sign of a rash. But don't take my word for it. Join many other moms and try Nigerian Pampers with lotion. Let's beat the rash. We moms know best.
UNIDO says Nigeria is taking positive steps towards standardization of quality in line with global best practices. And the Nigerian Stock Exchange opened the week in the red. Details with Leah Katumba Batunde.
Hello and welcome to Business News at 9. The United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, says that the National Quality Infrastructure Project, NQRP, will boost the competitiveness of the Nigerian economy in the international market. The project, which was designed to put in place necessary infrastructure and international regulatory framework that will create global acceptance of Nigeria's products and services, is to be launched soon by the federal government. UNIDO representative said Nigeria is stepping up completion of the project and advised government to ban importation of items with same quality and prices with locally produced ones.
Certification bodies popping up here and there. And so to support the enterprises, I think I can say the project has moved forward.
When adopted, the National Quality Infrastructure Policy would also ensure the safety and health of consumers who consume the various locally produced products in the country. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, intervened on Monday with dollar sales to support the Naira, which ended at 305.5 per dollar, a range it has closed at for nearly 2 months. Traders said the bank, which has been selling dollars regularly to prop up the currency, sold around $1.5 million towards the close of Monday's trade after the market was open for nearly 4 hours with no deal. This week started bearish as overwhelming supply hit stocks to see the all-share index decline by 0.81%. Let's take a look at closing figures from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And that's business for this hour. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Leah. And now let's go to Kaduna for latest developments on the communal crisis in that area. Suleiman will be our guide. Suleiman.
Thank you very much and welcome to Kaduna. Though the 24-hour curfew imposed on Jamara local government stands, normalcy is gradually returning to Godogodo Chiefdom in Jamara local government area of Kaduna State after the clash between yet-to-be-identified gunmen and farmers that claimed lives and property. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports that Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Barnabas Bala, accompanied by State Police Commissioner, visited the village to commiserate with the victims and assess the situation.
It will be recalled that in the earlier hours of last Thursday, unknown gunmen launched an attack on Godogodo village which claimed lives with property worth millions of naira destroyed, forcing the state government to declare a 24-hour curfew across the local government to avoid spillover. Though all is now calm in the area, heavy presence of military and mobile policemen are keeping vigil as residents are still counting their losses of those killed and property damaged. Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Barnabas Bala Bantes, while at the palace of Chief of Godogodo, has this message to the people.
This issue is beyond the immediate community. This issue is part of what you see globally, global insurgency. The earlier we bring back the accommodative spirit with which we lived.
The Deputy Governor later entered into a closed-door meeting with the Chief of the Chiefdom, alongside other stakeholders so that a lasting peace is found on the lingering problem. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, assorted relief materials worth millions of naira have been donated to the victims of the crisis by the National Emergency Management Agency. Zigwaya Ibagoni in Kafanchan tells us more.
Receiving the items on behalf of the victims, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State, Architect Barnabas Bala, appreciated the effort of NEMA, while emphasizing that public trust is a guarantee to peaceful coexistence.
We understand that religious leaders also have a role. Some of us that are standing here today are the products not only of government patronage, but the patronage of our religious bodies and our traditional institutions.
Represented by the Northwest Zonal Coordinator, the Director General of NEMA says, items donated is government's way of showing concern to survivors' plight.
The government is concerned about all lives and all properties in this scale. So we are here to present these materials, which consist of food items and building materials and some clothing. And we pray that we will never witness incidents like this.
Survivors of the crisis say items donated may not bring back lost lives, but will go a long way in meeting their basic needs. In Kafanchan, Zigwai Ayubogwani, NTA News.
And with that report, it's back to you, Cyril, for more on the network news.
Thank you, Suleiman. As the war against terror continues, a book titled Terror of Terrorism has been presented to the public to further mobilize the public to fight the menace. Kulu Mohammed reports.
Poses a great threat not just to human life, human rights, human dignity, and democratic values, but also the very existence